Good morning, hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are live today on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, X, YouTube. Hopefully today you are home, in your office, in your car, wherever you are. We hope that you are enjoying the last day of April, talking about North American Hockey League divisional finals coming on. We've got Eric Ballard coming onto the show, having some technical difficulties. Eric, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. Sorry, I've been having some issues with my computer this morning.
No issues. I think they can hear your audio. Tell me, you think they can or not? Let's put this closer to here and see what happens. Eric, I must be in the punishment because after you kind of won that battle with World Juniors, picking one game better than me, here we are doing it again. Talking about the North American Hockey League, the Elite Eight, the final Great Eight after last night's games. It was interesting. We did well in World Juniors, pretty even all through that. You took it by a game. Last night, Maine, Shreveport, and Bismarck picked up Game 5 wins to advance. I think the Elite Eight is going to be a great matchups in each division. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, there's some really good teams that are in the final eight here, and we had a couple teams waiting for games to finish yesterday, but there's no question going through rosters and watching some games. This last eight is going to be one heck of a series down the stretch for all those teams. Looking forward to it.
So let's start with the beast that is the East. The Nordiques face off against defending Robertson Cup champions Maryland Black Bears. I'm a big fan of what Nick Skurlock has done with Maine this year. It's been a great turnaround for that organization. But Maryland is an absolute machine. And I don't see Clint Mylock and the Black Bear Sports Group letting go of that reign anytime soon. Eric, my pick is definitely the Black Bears.
Yeah, and I'm a little torn too because I see what Maine's doing, what they've done this year. They have been sitting idle, which, flip a coin. It could help you, it could hurt you. There's no question that the Nordiques are coming off a big win, big series win. So I would probably have to agree with you. I think the Black Bears they've just got a little more depth right now. But I think that's going to be one heck of a series.
So let's move to the gritty South. Dan Wildfung's Brahmas are set to go to war with those pesky mudbugs from Shreveport. Normally, I may be more concerned with the Bugs' struggles against El Paso and their series, but all that gets tossed into the trash when we're talking about the Bugs and Brahmas. Wow. Turn that off. Eric,
there we go.
Right, I need my notes, buddy. Turn the phone off. Here we go. All right. It is now on video. So I'm not going to pick against Jason Campbell and the Bugs in this series because Soupy knows Wildfung. Wildfung played in Shreveport. I think he played with Soups. So this rivalry goes back a long way. I think when the Mudbugs came in, the guy, Frank Trezera, told the league, I'll approve or I'll go along with the Mudbugs, but Dan Wildfung can never be the coach of the Mudbugs. And I'm in. Now, that's been a long time ago. Wildfung is still in Brahmaland. But Jason Campbell and the Bugs, I got to take them in this series. This is a rivalry. Doesn't matter if one team won 30 in a row, the other one lost 30 in a row. Irrelevant. When these two teams get together, it's a war, an absolute war. This series will go the distance, but the Bugs will come out on top, Eric.
Yeah, that's I remember when I first moved to Colorado, we had tickets to the Colorado Eagles when they played in the Central League, and Danny Wildfang was playing, and Scotty Musket was the coach.
Yeah.
And so there's some history there. This is going to be one of those telltale signs, just like World Junior. I'm gonna go with Danny Wildfang and the Brahmas over Shreveport in 5. I think it's going to be a great series. It's going to go back and forth, but I think the Brahmas are just a little. I think they just got a little more high end. Shreveport's got a great club too. I mean, you get down to the final 8, any one of these teams can win. But when you play a best of 5 series, I think they're going to edge them out. So I'll take the Brahmas in this one. That way, they won't be a tie, at least in the first 2 picks.
Mike, Tommy, write that one down. So Eric has Wildfang, and I'm going with the Brahmas. Okay, moving to the Central Division, we have another matchup. Great rivalry between Minot and Bismarck. We remember when Bismarck was the only team out there in that group, right? They were by themselves. Now they have all these new rivals, Aberdeen, Minot, now Watertown coming in, North Iowa's there. And these guys are all really came out of what Bismarck was doing. And Lane Sadevi does a great job with the Bobcat. Jason Campbell has done an amazing job this year with Minot. So I'm going to have to go with a second batch of soup and go with Minot in this series, Eric.
Yeah, Campbell and has done a great job in Minot this year. And Minot's got some high-powered offense. I mean, they've had some big scores. Sadevi, Lane's been there forever in Bismarck. He's done a great job, Tom Briggle's group. And there's no question. Talk about a great rivalry. I mean, you're about an hour and 45 minutes town to town, which is really neat. Both great facilities, kind of in the heartland there of North Dakota. But I'm going to have to stay on the Minot side. Hopefully Lane's not watching, but I think that I just think that Minot's primed right now to take this series. Again, I think it'll probably go the distance, but I'm going to stay on Minot's side as well.
Let's move to the Midwest Division. Man, there's some hard feelings here, aren't there? That leaves us with Anchorage Wolverines taking on the relatively new Wisconsin Wendigo. Being an Anchorage resident for a big portion of my life and working pretty hard with Keith Morris and the Wolverines in the last 4 years. Tommy, how many times a day do you think Keith Morris calls us? 5, 6, 4. It just depends what's going on. Great. I can never pick against the Wolverines. I would be castrated. So let's not do that. I'm going with the Wolverines in this one, Eric.
Yeah, it's the Wisconsin Wendigo have done a good job. They dismantled the Janesville Jets, Joe Dibble's group, pretty good. I think it went 3 games, but or I don't even know what the series was. But Anchorage is just that's where you and I met about a million years ago, and when you were with the Aces, and I was still trying to be a hockey player, and Trupp has got his team playing really well right now. There's just a hardier, probably a little grittier team. From the Midwest, Minnesota myself, but I'm making a push to beat you 2 for 2. I'm going to have to probably stay with the Wolverines as well.
Eric, we're watching a lot of movement within the North American Hockey League. We're watching the situation going on with major junior players likely becoming eligible after this season. We didn't really talk about this ahead of the show. Eric, what kind of impact is the Canadian Hockey League players are going to have on college hockey?
You know what? We went in the weeds a little bit, I think, at one point. And if this goes down the road, and you couple that with the NIL and the portal, and it just talk about a lot of layers to what we got going on here. I still believe your top players that are playing major junior are not going to end up being collegiate hockey players. That top 5 to 10% that are first, second round NHL draft picks. They've got agents. Those agents are going to want them playing against the best players in the country, in North America, and the world. I just don't see it probably having the largest impact. But I do see that you're going to, if this should go down that road, you're going to have some difference makers potentially end up some of the bigger schools. But I tell you, I don't know if it has much of an impact overall long term, like everybody's concerned about. You look at Denver and what Carl and the Alaska coaching staff. Think about that. To sidebar, Carl, Dallas Ferguson. Guys, I'm drawing a blank. They played for the Gold Kings. What's that?
Gudowski?
No, not Gudowski. The other coach at Denver. Tavis McMillan. Sorry, Tavis. I'm sure he's not watching, but but it's just. I don't think it's going to be that big of an impact. 6 months ago, I would say it was, but I'm not quite sure if it makes a huge impact. It's going to be very minimal, in my opinion.
I think we're going to see college hockey be enhanced from Division I down to ACHA D2, where, in the past, you didn't really have to play junior hockey to play at every level, every league in D2. But now I think you better have a couple of years of junior hockey experience if you want to play anywhere above the ACHA D3 level. And that's impactful for junior hockey. It's going to create more opportunities at the collegiate level and really make the junior hockey experience that much more valuable for players. And they're going to need that experience to be able to be competitive even at the college club level. And that's important for the game. I think it enhances college hockey. We're probably looking at an influx of 200 players a year from the Canadian Hockey League that drop down into the NCAA. That's going to push the whole bracket down. The Eastern Hockey League's claim to fame in the past has been, we get kids to D3. I think they have to back that off a little bit and probably expect those kids to go ACHA. You'll see more NHL players. Now you see the league celebrating commitments to Division III, and it's been good to see. Eric?
Yeah, there's no question. It's funny you say that because I sent you a text or an email a few weeks ago about somebody in the industry advising out east, saying that all these D1 college commitments from an Eastern league, I'm going to leave the names out of it. I don't need a lawsuit. But I think what you're going to see is the ACHA is gaining a ton of ground. The one thing about the ACHA is for most, it's not a varsity sport, so it can pop up everywhere. I just saw that the University of Nebraska and Lincoln is going to add an ACHA Division II team. There's so many hockey opportunities out there for these young players nowadays on the boys' side specifically, where if there is an influx of Canadian hockey players coming down from the CHL, there's going to be more than enough opportunities within the U.S. to house those players if they want to go to, school, get an education, and play 4 or 5 more years of college hockey. So, it's really neat to see the U.S. grow as much as it has in the last 4 or 5 years.
Eric, the North American Hockey League adds Watertown and Forest Lake in Minnesota. I think it's a good move. More teams, more free-to-play teams. I'm happy about that. You can grow to 100 teams and I'll be happy because that means less pay to play. But closing up, what does that impact have on the NAHL adding new teams?
Well, I think Watertown makes a lot of sense. It's off the beaten path. There's no question. I think they're dragging their feet a little bit on getting a coaching staff, so hopefully they got a guy in the hangar that's got his pulse on everything. But the Minnesota team, like you said, I really do. I wish them the very best. But being from Minnesota, there's too much hockey. The hockey's going to be good, but the overall financial package there, as far as advertising and fans and all the ancillaries, they're going to be tough it's going to be tough to make sure that program stays solvent for years. I just think it's not the best area. Again, Forest Lake's a nice area. I really do wish them the best. I think they're going to be climbing uphill.
Eric, we got to wrap it up. We got 10 seconds. Hope you have a great day out in Wyoming. For the rest of you, have a great day in hockey.